Hey guys, what is up? What it do? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lex and I would absolutely love it if you love this content, if you'd like to support me, support the channel, if you could like, share, comment, and subscribe. This inspires me to keep creating. It allows me to keep bringing you guys videos, keep bringing you guys content, and just overall, it helps this little channel, helps me get into the algorithm. I am less than 50 subscribers away from hitting 500, which honestly, like I said, if you are new here, I started my channel like 2.5 months ago, almost 3 months ago. And I don't know, when I started this little channel, I just had so many people be like, don't worry, girl. Don't worry if you have like 50 subscribers for like 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever. So it's absolutely insane to me that in just like not even 3 months, close to 3 months probably, right? I am so close to 500 subscribers, and 500 of you guys just literally are watching my videos, thinking about it. And it's like, I don't know, not to get, but like, I literally went to church this morning, and like, one of the messages was about how like, sometimes you have to realize that it's not about the material part of it. So like, I guess for me with YouTube, it's like, oh, I get to this amount of subscribers, I can get monetized, I can do this, I can do that. But sometimes you have to remember that you're helping people. Like, you're literally helping people, whether it's by creating content, creating entertainment, bringing people together over a shared interest. And like, I feel like with YouTube, like, it is so crazy because I can't believe that, we're all coming here together over the shared interest of reality television shows. So yeah, now, like I said, not to get corny, but thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you guys so much for those of you guys who watch everything, who are here. Anyways, let's get into it. We are going to talk about the Ultimatum South Africa. The way I'm going to be structuring like the recap schedule is I'm gonna do 2 episodes per day, and I'm gonna just basically try to have them out over the next couple of weeks. There is all episodes up now, but please, more than ever, because all of the episodes except for the reunion are out, please, please, please do not put spoilers, okay? Whatever the episodes are in the title, please don't put spoilers, because there will definitely have been people that didn't see them. I probably will not have seen them. I can't watch 9 episodes in one day. So please, 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 please don't put spoilers, okay? So that is going to be the schedule for that. This is going to be a recap of episodes 1 and 2, and then episodes 3 and 4 should be up by probably Tuesday at the latest, maybe Wednesday. And then we'll just go on that upload schedule, okay? So let's get into it. So first off, I will say with the Ultimatum, I forgot, because there's so few seasons of this show, I always forget how the beginning is really chaotic. So please bear with me here for the recap. I feel like it becomes much easier to recap this show once they're in the trial marriages, because it's like a lot easier breakdown. But the first 2 episodes are a lot of like speed dating. Everyone's kind of talking with everyone. We're kind of just getting to know people. So please bear with me. I will try my hardest to put as many like clips of the show as possible to hopefully make this a bit easier to understand. But this is kind of chaotic. I tried my best to organize it in my notes. So just, as I said, bear with me here. So let's get into it. So we have 6 couples in this season, which I don't know how many we typically have for the show. As I said, there's so few like seasons of the show, but we have all of our couples. So let's get into the couples first. So our original couples, this is not the trial couples, but the original couples. Our first one is Tabby and Genesis. So Tabby and Genesis, they went to school together, and the story is that he used to look at her all the time. He was like, okay, okay. And finally he asked for her number. So basically their ultimatum is about finances. You know, Tabby claims that Genesis will spend a lot of money on nice clothes, nice shoes, nice everything. But when it comes to marrying her, he's on this like, oh my God, I don't have a lot of money to get married. I don't have the money yet to get married. But Tabby really thinks like probably the real reason why he's acting this way is because he's scared. Which, I mean, probably, you know? So next we have Nekateko and Kanya. So basically, Nekateko, no, let me say it differently. Kanya was not initially attracted to Nekateko because of he was not her type, but she says over time she did become attracted to him, which like is very common. I feel like it's not uncommon, I think, for women to become attracted to a guy that's not originally your type. That has happened to me. So Kanya did issue the ultimatum. She says that, you know, he says right now he does not feel confident enough with the state of the relationship to take her off the market, aka marry her. So he has trust issues at this point. He's worried that she doesn't think that he's enough, you know. So he's in this thing where he doesn't know if he can be a good husband. It's not me, it's not you, it's me thing, which I don't know. At least in my life, whenever I've had that experience of a guy being like, oh, no, I just think I'm not good enough to be a husband. He didn't want to be with me, you know? So we shall see. We shall see about those two, but it's not giving good vibes. Next, we have Ruth and Isaac. So Ruth and Isaac have been together for 2 years, and, you know, things are different for Ruth than they were before. So Ruth is given the ultimatum because, child, now this man basically is like, like he is having his own life. It's like Ruth is here and he's here, and he does not let her call him ever, only text him. She doesn't know where he stays or where he lives. She's never met his friends or his family. So at this point, she's giving the ultimatum because it's like, so who are you, sir? Now, he claims it's because of a very strict culture that you don't just bring any girl around into your life. And I have heard of that for like Indian culture and like some other different cultures where, yes, like it is a very big deal to bring a girl around. And I actually did date briefly date a Nigerian guy a couple of years ago, and he had said something very similar where like he was with a girl for many years and she never met his family until very much later, because it was a similar thing where like he just did not want to bring her around unless they were definitely going to get married. So I do know that that's a thing. And I think with the family stuff, I'm a little more understanding. But with the friends, I don't get that. I'm sorry, but like, why doesn't she know like any friends? Like, she doesn't know anybody in your life. And then I don't know, it's very sus to only let her text you. Like, you want me to tell me she can't FaceTime you? I'm not loving it, Isaac. It's not giving. It's not giving. So he gets upset because he claims that she never asks him, like, how are you doing? How was your day at work? Anything of that nature. And he said he's happy to be in the experience because he can have someone that he can finally like spend time with, that cares about him. So I don't know with these two. I was very confused at everything because I'm like, 2 years is a pretty long time to not know one person in this man's life. Like, you don't even know where he lives. I don't know. That's very weird to me. So now we have Lebo and Nola. So, you know, Lebo says that Nola is very supportive. And he loves that she's smart and she has a good heart. However, his communication is very poor. Okay, he has no boundaries with women. He's often calling other women babe and all of this kind of stuff. And for her, like, he thinks this is all based off of insecurities from a previous relationship. Now, child, I'm sorry, but men who don't have boundaries with women, it is always a problem. I feel like it's always a problem. It is always a bad situation. It never ends well, you know? It never ends well when they try to put the insecurity on you. Again, have had that experience. Literally have had that experience being with somebody who had no boundaries with other women. Oh, it's just a friend. You're just insecure. It's just your anxiety. And then they cheated on me. So, like, not great, you know. I'm right now, the red flags is red flagging with these couples. I ain't gonna hold you. The red flags are red flagging. So then we have Courtney and Aiden. Courtney gave Aiden the ultimatum because at this point she wants to get married. Like, she's like, are you serious or is you not? You know, he doesn't want to get married because he's very worried about getting divorced. And I mean, I know many people that have that feeling about marriage where they don't want to get married because they're scared that it's going to go wrong. You're going to get divorced. I think he said he grew up with divorced parents, but I don't know. I also think it's a pretty harmful mindset to be walking around like thinking that your relationship's gonna fail. Like, to me, that seems to kind of indicate something weird about the relationship. So hopefully they can dive into that. And remember, y'all, this show is a mess, okay? I do not, for the record, think this experiment works or that this experiment is good. Okay, I don't think this helps any of the couples, so I just want to say that. Oh, one note, somebody in the comments on one of my other videos was like, oh, who's in the background of your video? That's my fiance. If you ever see someone walking, it's not no random man up in my crib. It's my fiance. He's just like out there. This door is like see-through. So yeah, just to answer that one. Okay, so we have more couples, okay? We have Caesar Kelly, also known as Caesar, and Lindele. Is it Lindele? Oh my goodness, I feel so bad if I'm mispronouncing. I think it's Lindele. Oh God. Okay, so they used to be neighbors and he finally introduced himself at some point. So they were friends first. They were a couple that started off as friends, had a really deep relationship, but as they got together, it didn't really go so well anymore. It's like that thing where in the beginning you're so cool, you know, you get along really well, but once like that honeymoon period wears off, or, you know, once you get together, you don't have that friendship. And that's what she said. That's what Caesar said, that like once they got together, they really haven't had that same friendship. The dynamic has changed. And hey, look, sometimes people just work better as friends. Like, I am a believer that some people, you know, maybe have like really good connections, really good, like even like soulmate, which I don't really believe in soulmates, but like soulmate type connections, but you're just meant to be friends. Like, so again, we shall see what happens to them. So he is actually giving her the ultimatum. Lindele is giving Caesar the ultimatum, saying that he only wants people in his life that he can grow with. Was apparently already proposing marriage 3 months in, and Caesar was like, I just don't know. Like, I feel like I want to see more before I get into marriage. And Lindele is like, I want people only that I can grow with. I don't want to be with wishy-washy people. So again, it's like, seems like a compatibility issue, but okay. So those are the couples on this show, okay? I will try my hardest for the first few episodes to have a chart here of sorts so we can maybe keep track of them. But at the minimal least, you know, we'll put some B-roll footage of everybody so y'all can know who everybody is. So we see Tabby and Genesis having a conversation the morning before they start the experiment. And Tabby is basically saying like, look, I think Genesis is delaying marriage because he feels like he needs a certain amount of money in order to get married. And he says, like, look, like, we're African. Like, you need a certain amount of things to get a wife. And Tabby is just like, I don't care. Like, I don't care. I just want you. I just want to be with you. And, you know, again, like, I just think, like, finances do be running relationships. Do I think he might be making excuses? I mean, probably. But, so Tabby also says at this point that Genesis is basically her whole life is Genesis, okay? She is wrapped up in this man and she will not have anything if he leaves here with another woman. So Aiden, he walking into the experiment saying, it feels good to be single, okay? It feels good to be a single man. I got freedom. And I was like, dang, you really ain't like Courtney like that, huh? So all of the couples meet.
You are all looking lovely and you look like you're ready to get things started.
And at this point, we get into like the speed dating part of the experiment where like everybody's just kind of left and right and front and center. And you know, everybody's trying to kind of get a feel for one another before they take their pick. Now, I don't know if I'm misremembering this show, but they had like, I think a week of just doing like different speed dates before they actually made a pick. I don't remember if the US versions of this did that or if they just had like a day or two, but it seemed very long. It seems like a much longer process to like make a pick. So we see Tabby and Nekateko talking first. He says he does not know if there's ever a right time to get married. Yes and no, like yes and no, but that's what he said. Now, Kanya is like a lot. Like,
I feel like I'm just irritating her.
Entrepreneur is important because you never know what the person is doing. It
Until you
encompasses.
ask, and then they let you know, but you haven't asked.
What do you do?
I'm gonna tell because I'm a winner. So all the guys that I met are like 6 and 7s out of 10 in terms of conversation.
like, she does not like anybody. She is the tough critic. If you're watching the Never Ever Met, I feel like Kanya is the Jody. Like, Jody and Kanya are birds of a feather. I feel like they have that same personality where, like, they are not impressed by anything. Very high standards. Okay, they are bosses, but, like, I don't know. Like, it just comes off very, like, they're not playing no games and they are not impressed by much. Kanya does tell everybody she's an entrepreneur and she is very irritated. We see her talking with Aiden. I think we see her talk with Genesis maybe. And at some point, someone asked her, what does entrepreneur mean? What do you do? Because she would just say she was an entrepreneur and not give anything. I was like, okay. So Kanye says all of the guys are a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Like I told y'all, this girl is not impressed. Kanye is going to be a problem. I can already tell. Whoever she's with is going to be a problem because she is not easily impressed whatsoever. So Nola and Kanya have a conversation, and for the first time, it seems like Kanya is smiling. She's laughing a little. I think they connect on birthdays. Like he was asking her birthday, and it seems like he's cracking that nut a little bit. And she does say that she's a tough nut to crack. And yes, sis, you sure are. So now Ruth and Nola are also talking. Ruth is definitely feeling Nola at this point. He says that all he wants from a girl is respect and she will be the queen of his heart. And he's like, yes, Ruth is like, I want to be the queen. I want to be the queen. So Ruth is already starstruck. Baby, she likes her. She like her some Nola. So Courtney and Nekateko are talking.
Attraction to him on the first evening.
Like, how do you know that you found the one? Because clearly you're here now.
Because I need to find out if he...
From my perspective, I feel like you have to take a lot of boxes.
What are those boxes for you?
Right?
And Courtney says she was already attracted to Nekateko from like the beginning. So I was like, okay, Courtney, now you like you some. Okay, well, you better because baby, these things. Anywho, so Nekateko says he loves to laugh around people, and they claim that they're both deep thinkers and like deep conversation. I feel like those are always like empty platitudes. The terms like, I'm a deep thinker, I like deep conversation. Like, what does that even mean? I feel like that's always an empty platitude. Like, if I was dating someone and he was like, I love deep conversations, it would just be like, about what though? About what? Like, what you mean that you like deep conversations? So Isaac and Caesar are also talking, and Caesar says she does not want kids, like, period. And he's like, oh, he's like, okay, next. But love that, love that for her, and I think that's a thing, as a woman, I think nowadays we should just be being so upfront, like, I don't want kids, if you want kids, I want kids, we not compatible. Like, I liked it for her. I love that for her. So Nekateko and Caesar have, a conversation.
I feel like Caesar Kelly is a vibe. She's very fun to be with.
Where do you originally come from? The attraction is really there.
Caesar is starstruck. Nekateko has on like this little button-down red shirt, and she's like so distracted by this man's shirt. Like, she is distracted by the shirt that man got on, and she is a giggly mess. So there's definitely some feeling developing there for Caesar with Nekateko. And let me tell you, this Nekateko is a hot commodity, I feel like, in this joint already. So they go roller skating. Like I said, they just have like so many different dates on these 2 episodes. It's insane. So they go roller skating. Once they get to the roller skating, Courtney is feeling like Genesis did like him after the speed dating, but Genesis says that the speed dating helped him, or the roller skating helped him realize that he can have fun without thinking about Tabby. So, Now, Ruth and Nola are talking again, and at this point, Nola says he is an aspiring actor. So Ruth is like, okay, act something out. And he's like, what? And she's like, like you just lost your mom or something? Like, it was something ridiculous. And she thinks that them two are a good match, so she's feeling him. She's feeling her some Nola. Now, Lindile wishes that he had more time with Ruth, but he is not looking forward to having to sit at the table with Sizakele, because all of them are sitting at this table at the roller skating rink, and everybody kind of goes off in their pairs, and then it's just left to Sizakele and Lindile.
Yes, and it doesn't seem like they actually know their partners.
But baby, I don't know.
Can we refrain from calling each other baby for fun? What is the motive?
I'm dating you because I love you.
Refrain.
They start fighting. They start fighting. She's like, oh, hey, babe. And he's like, don't call me babe. He tells her to refrain from saying that she loves him because that's not part of the experiment. And as we start to see, especially more in the next episode, I don't know. Like I said, I think this show is a mess. I think this experiment does not work. And I don't even know what the expectation is, because I feel like the problem with the experiment is they have to like stand in the room with their current partner, who's their ex, and then they have to like meet new people, but like pretend they don't know their partner. I don't know. It's really bizarre to me. It's like a very bizarre situation. I've always thought this experiment was bizarre. So they really start fighting over this, and she's very upset. And we pan back to Ruth and Nola. These two...
Miss Ruth Maseko.
Mrs. Yeah, sounds about right.
This is a good lady, man.
To the two are just hamming it up. They are having such a good time. So Nola at this point says Ruth is every man's dream. This man is smitten, okay? He asks her how she feels about being Mrs. Ruth Maseko, and I was like, oh, not already. Not you already trying to have this lady take your last name. I was like, whoop, yeah. Now, she says something like empty platitude, like, if something must end, it must end, and if it carries on, it must carry on. So in other words, if I end up going with Nola instead of my man Isaac, then that's just what it is. So they then go salsa dancing. Like I said, just date after date after date after date. So Isaac and Kanya, they are talking, and Isaac asks, like, what do you look for in a man? Or like, what is love for you, basically? And she says she used to think it was money, what a guy could do for her, but now she has realized that it is love and affection. And in this very moment, Nekateko pulls her away.
Where you guys? I need to borrow it for a second.
Oh!
Seeing other men laugh with you. I feel a bit selfish, but I enjoy being the only man making you.
Does just go around gift of gabbing everyone. And I'm like the idiot to fall for it. You the one.
He comes over and he done snatch her up, and he's like, you know, and at this point, it's really irritating because every time Kanya is making a connection with somebody, it's like he comes and takes her away from it. He wants to sabotage her, and she starts to pick that up and realize that too. Like, we're here for this experiment, you know, why do you keep trying to take me away from every other guy? So, you know, he did bring up marriage first, and he is afraid to lose her. That's what he tells her. But again, it's like, you don't gave the ultimatum. Like, you know, you guys are here because you guys gave each other an ultimatum. So that is how we end off the first episode, and we go right into episode 2. So it is 2 days before the choice at this point, and there is cocktails with everyone. So we see the couples kind of talking. So Level.
Wow, what'd you take me for? Come on.
So you've made your pick.
I want in the conversation.
Oh, but it has. You're not in the conversation.
At this cocktail party, we start to see everybody kind of seeing their partners really have a connection with others. And some people are taking it a little bit harder than others. Sizakele and Nekateko are also talking at this point, as well as Ruth and Isaac. So Ruth and Isaac, says he was worried, but he wanted to do the experiment to see, or sorry, y'all, my notes. I cannot read my notes. Okay, sorry guys. Give me 1 second. Okay. So Ruth, was upset, worried, because she wanted to do the experiment just to see how it goes. At this point, Isaac also says that he wants to see how it is. So they both agree that, hey, we're here, we want to do this, we want to see how it pans out, but like, we're both really worried about losing the other one. Now, he likes one person, but he doesn't want to tell her who because he's afraid it's going to hurt her feelings. And also at this point, she also admits, like, hey, I like a person. So neither one of them is really trying to tell the other anything. Genesis and Courtney, Tabby is like sitting in the background and she starts to see them flirting and she is not, she's like, like. So Levo feels like Nola wants to overhear all the conversations that he's having with other girls.
It's not bad.
That's fish, I thought, not bread.
She has a lot to say, but she doesn't want to say.
For me, it felt like he wanted me to hear all the conversations that he had with other.
And he, you know, she at this, damn, I almost kicked my tripod down. But she at this point feels like he on purpose is trying to make her feel bad. And so she's starting to get really, really upset. And as I said, it's like, y'all, why does this experiment exist? I'm going to keep saying that throughout these recaps. Why does this experiment exist? Because it's like the formatting of it is so bad. So Aiden and Lebo are talking at this point, and Aiden kind of starts to swoop in to be a comfort to Lebo because she is very upset. And they both are chatting and kind of agree that they have similar things that they need to work on in relationships and also similar things that they kind of want to see from their partner. So they start to build this connection and a possibility of the two of them being together. But, and again, it's like from the beginning, that was their problem, that Lebo, that Nola called one of the other girls sweetheart. I'm still trying to get the names out. I'm sorry. Nola called one of the other girls sweetheart. So their conversation, Lebo and Aiden, it was ended. And at this point, you know, this was their biggest problem from the beginning, that Nola has no boundaries with other women, that he's flirting with other women, he's calling other girls babe, sweetheart, things like that. It never ends well. And I don't know. I feel like if a man doesn't have those boundaries, he's not going to magically gain those boundaries today, girl. So Tabby is also pretty upset because at this point she feels like Genesis is avoiding her. Apparently all of the other exes are talking to their partners, and Genesis is the only one that has not come up to her at this point yet and just asked if she was okay or asked how she was feeling. So he claims the reason that he can't talk to her is because his emotions will kick in and he'll have to start the experiment from scratch. Which I think is the best way. I think it should legitimately be a rule that you cannot talk to your partner when you're on the dates. Obviously, if they live together, then they can talk until the experiment. But I feel like when you're on the dates, I don't think you should be able to come up and be like, oh my God, I see you with somebody else. Like, I feel like that defeats the whole purpose of this whole thing. So at this point, Tabby storms out, like she's done, and Aiden comes outside to the rescue, and he's asking her, like, what's wrong? What happened?
Thank you. Aiden, the very sour mood that I'm in. I feel Aiden is...
Tabby is saying that, you know, she's upset because, again, everyone else is talking to their couple except for Genesis. So at this point, she's seeing that Aiden is attentive, he's caring, he noticed that she had stormed out, so she's like, oh, maybe, you know, he checked some boxes that I don't get out of Genesis. So Isaac is also upset that Ruth is having a really good time talking to other people.
Talking to other people, she did not care about how much it's hurting me in that process.
That happened for days.
Isaac storms out. It's wrong, very childish.
Behind my back. What more? She's having the best of time.
And so Isaac also storms out, and it's just ridiculous. I'm like, what is going on? So Isaac does stormed out, Tabby stormed out, and so we got a couple of people who just can't handle it. So one day until the choice. At this point, they go pottery painting and they go to like one of those selfie studios. So Lebo says, look, I'm willing to let go of Nola right now. I love him, but right now I'm not feeling his. So Lindell and Tabby are talking, and Tabby realizes that she really likes Lindell. He admits that he had to learn how to take care of his siblings early, so he knows how to do a lot of like domestic tasks, cleaning, cooking, because his mom had to go to work. And Tabby really likes this side of him that seems more responsible, more caring. So, you know, sparks are kind of flying there. Kanya misses Nekateko, but is enjoying being single. So good. You know, at least one person is not having a meltdown because their partner is doing the experiment that they signed up for. So Isaac and Lebo are talking, and Isaac says, look, like, she's very quiet, she's kind, she's understanding, but he kind of wants to crack through that shell. So he's trying to talk to her and get to know her on a deeper level. They both say that they don't mind doing house chores. They like to dance around and do chores. But he starts talking about how he wants someone to bathe him. I was like, wait, what? I was like, what is he talking about? So Lebo does say, though, that she feels like the feeling is mutual and that she does hope that Isaac will pick her as a trial wife. So that's cool. Ruth and Nola, things are progressing quickly with these two. Like, okay, Ruth says things are progressing very quickly and she might fall in love with this man. So Ruth and Nola, I feel like we're the couple that like off the bat, like they're really tight. There's clearly a real attraction there. I don't know. If I was in the experiment, I'd be like, dang, y'all really are into each other really quickly, huh? And again, we see another scene of Kanya having conversation with Aiden, having conversations with other people, and she is just not impressed. I'm telling you, Kanya is going to be a problem. She is not impressed. So Caesar and Aiden talk, and he's having a great time. They have a really good time. Caesar definitely is one of those more bubbly, fun girls that, like, I don't know, she's just one of those people where when you're around her, it's fun. She's easy to get along with. And Aiden says that he loves being around her smiley self, but he does miss Courtney. It's like, well, Courtney don't miss you. Courtney is over there getting her man. And then Genesis and SZA are talking, are also really getting, so yeah, they're still connecting. Sorry. I don't know why I wrote my notes like this. Okay, so SZA and Genesis are also still connecting. They connect on music, you know, she's like, I listen to everything. He's like, oh, really? And then a little later, we see another scene of them in like the flower garden, the selfie garden, and oh my goodness, she says she is already falling in love.
Mistletoe is. I planted I don't know whether it's a tree or it's a flower, but it's green. And then unless they are very good kisses. About maybe just trying it out, but I realized that it's just too
love. And she even wants to try out kissing him, but she realizes it's too early. And I'm like, whoa, SZA is giving me like, I'm ready to find another guy. I feel like Ruth and Nola, I don't know, that attraction was real quick. And then SZA is definitely giving, I'm looking for someone else. I'm looking for someone else because she is really into Genesis. So now it is the day of the decision. A couple of the couples have a conversation before the dinner just to determine for sure who they may go with. So we see Lindell and Ruth have a conversation. So Ruth says she feels bad that she's been leading on Nola for 3 weeks by telling him that he wants to, or that she wants to spend the time with him for 3 weeks. He admits that even though he gave the ultimatum in his pair, he has some stuff to work on, that he does want to be with her and that he does really see a connection between the two of them. And then Aiden and Tabby also have a conversation, and Aiden says he loves her energy. Aiden is, these two? Okay now, I see it for these two. So Aiden loves her energy and how it makes him feel. She says that she also loves his energy. And she's also saying again that Aiden really ticks off boxes that she's not getting in her current relationship. You know, she says that he surprises her, he's caring, things that she feels like she always has to do in her relationship, give. She's finally getting some from Aiden. So she wants him to pick her. So we go to the choice. They have a little bit of banter back and forth at the table. They talk about their experiences over the week.
Big question. Did you come here with the person that you're meant to spend the rest?
As though I am literally not coping. My biggest fear is picking someone who doesn't pick me back.
And some of these people are really upset. Ruth and Isaac, again, have a little spat where the host asks Isaac, how was it? And Isaac says, I had a great time with all of the women. Oh, well, except Ruth. And it's like, whoa there. Like, these two, I feel like, are constantly taking little jabs at each other and they're constantly really upset. Like, their relationship seems very hostile. So they get into a fight and it's not going too well with them. So we see two of the pairings on this episode. So Ruth chooses Nola and Nola also chooses Ruth. Now,
Isaac has pissed me off. Definitely, I know whose name is going to come out of my mouth. The person that I want is Nola.
You may take a seat. Nola, who do you choose as your trial?
Isaac says he is very worried about trusting Nola since he and Ruth are kind of on bad terms right now, but overall he claims he's not that worried. We'll see, because baby, Ruth was like really on to Nola. And we also see Courtney's choice. So Courtney is...
Wow. I hope you don't regret the decision.
Have deep conversations, but also joke around. Not take life too seriously, but...
Yeah.
The experience with Courtney would be we come from different worlds. Sizagele on the other side, the experience would be effortless.
Little upset, it seems like, because he says that being with Courtney is going to be very different than what he's used to. I feel like there was some implied language there, if you know what I mean. But he says being with Courtney is going to be very different. So he's also conflicted of whether or not to accept being with Courtney or not. But ultimately, he says that he should try something different. You know, he might learn something new. So he does accept being with Courtney. And at this point, you know, even though he thought it was more effortless with SZA. So at this point, SZA is very upset.
Damn.
It's okay.
She feels rejected by Genesis. She was also really feeling him. And at this point, they ask SZA, like, who are you trying to pick? And she claims she's okay, but ultimately she actually gets really upset and she ends up walking out of the dinner. And that is how we leave the episode. So first off, sorry for this review, y'all. Like I said, I feel like the Ultimatum, the first few episodes are super hard to recap because it's just so much back and forth with the speed dating. So far, it looks like it's going to be an interesting season. Some people, they seem like they were ready to jump ship, while others seem a little more reserved. So I am interested to see the dynamics of this whole thing. So as I said before, please, we could talk about episodes 1 and 2 in the comments if you'd like, but please don't talk about any other episodes. Even though they are up, I have not seen them, and other people watching this may not have seen them. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for supporting. Let me know, what do you think of this season? Are you excited? Leave it down in the comments. And if you guys have not already, like, share, commented, and subscribe. Hit that subscribe, hit that bell notification so you guys will know when I upload. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye!